Welcome to another live stream here. And today I'm going to actually go over 3 stories that were sent in. So this is something new I'll do with the live stream. And I made an announcement 20 minutes ago. So I know that's short notice for a lot of people out there, but we'll see how that works out. So someone I mentioned, they sent their story into writemac.com, and I will usually review it in a YouTube video, but now I'm starting to play with this live stream and really enjoying it. And I think other people like interacting. So I'll actually tell the story, give my take, and then individuals can chime in. But gone. Hey, Coach, happy Easter. Well, happy Easter to you too. I actually forgot it was Easter. Wow. That's what happens when you live abroad. So let's get into it because this is a story. This individual sent this on the last live stream. And like I've said before, now if you send your story and you want a video done, I generally charge $25. If you send it in during the live stream and I know who you are and you're willing to have it read on a live stream like this, then you can make a donation if you like. If not, that's totally fine. I don't mind because it adds content and adds things to the channel, and it helps other people out there. So let's get into it. Ready? And any of you out there, I got 5 people already on deck. If you want to chime in, I might not respond right away because I'm going to go all the way through with the story. Hi, Coach Mac. We are officially together for 3 months. Okay. We were officially together for 3 months, romantically involved for 7 months. Okay, you got my detail. We are both 27 years old. Great way to start the story. We have some idea of your age and how long you were together. So this wasn't a long-term relationship. You're 27 years old and basically 3 months. I said things that was hurtful because I was hurt as well. How do you undo the mistake I made? Well, Jenny Ducatel, let me go through this story and then we'll get to you next. And let's see how this transpires. It'll take 5-10 minutes. Hey, Coach Mac, wonderful surprise. Happy Easter. Good to see you. You too, Helen. Thank you, hon. Happy Easter to you too. Just throws you off every time you say hello. Okay, let me get into this. We were both 27, broke up January 9th officially. So that's like 3 months ago. Met in the summer of 15. Sounds like it was so long ago. Met in the summer of 69. Met in the summer of 15. God, 2015. I was her manager at a major retail store. I won't say the place. I transferred to another store a few months later. I used to work in retail when I was in college and stuff. I know what that's like. And you end up meeting a lot of chicks through working at the mall, right? And so I could see that. We didn't really talk that often after that. However, in July of 17, she randomly messaged me and said she had a crush on me for all those years and was jealous of the girl I was dating while I was her manager at that summer. Well, you're being the manager and working together regularly. There's a lot of attractions through that. Melted Blue, you're coming up, bud. I have what you wrote me in the email. Eric G, good afternoon. It's great seeing you again. Right on, EG. If this is the same Eric G. At the time I was living in, sorry. We didn't really talk that often. However, in July, she randomly messaged me and said she had a crush on me all those years and was jealous of the girl I was dating. Okay, because you were the manager and you guys worked together. At that time, I was living in KY, actually Kentucky, and she was in Ohio, 150 miles away. We met up a few weeks after. She messaged me and had an amazing first date and talked for 2 months and hung out. Well, I mean, if she had a crush on you for all those years and you worked together, it was kind of like not a first date. You guys knew who you were. You knew you were attracted to each other. Life got in the way and dating ended. In April of 18, she messaged me randomly that she didn't want things to end between us and had thought of me a lot. If you got 150 miles in between you, you could certainly see each other once or twice a month. But if you're working regularly, I always say this, LDR, long distance relationship, has a shelf life. So if one of you wasn't willing to move to the other state and actually be within 20 minutes distance of each other. And I'll take it a step further. You're 27 years old. You're in your mid to late 20s. I mean, at some point, if you guys are both single and I don't know if you live at home. A lot of people in their late 20s in the States live at home, which isn't bad. But at some point, you want to get out, right, and get your own place. So long term, it's not going to work out being 150 miles apart. It just doesn't work out that way unless there's a really good plan. Is there exceptions to the rules? Of course. We had not been in communication at that time. She said we had unfinished business and asked when I would be in Ohio again. I said I would let her know. She went to Niagara Falls in June and told me she thought about me while she was there and wish we had been to get there together. Again, we were not even in communication. I finally met her in person last August, and I was like, nothing had changed, and we kissed goodbye. Started dating again, and I moved up there in October to my aunt's. Around that time, she got her first apartment. So that's okay. So she has her first apartment. You guys are living in the same vicinity. Lots of memories around Cincinnati in that apartment. She admitted that everything would always remind her of me. We had 2 issues while dating. So I mean, like when you say you're dating, I don't consider yourself together. Anyone else agree with? When someone's dating someone, I don't consider yourself officially together. The first being would make her bet. The first being I would always. We had 2 issues while dating. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. Okay. The first being I would make her bed, take out the trash, empty the dishwasher, just do small things. She would always thank me, but the fact that I would mention that I cleaned apparently annoyed her. I mentioned an example, he writes, and in text, I mentioned, hope you have a good day, leaving early. Don't worry about the place being messy. It sounds pretty petty that she's upset that you would mention something like that. The fact that you're going out of your way, if it's your pleasure to make the bed, take out the trash and empty the dishwasher because it's her place and you're staying there, you don't need to like get an extra pat on the back, right? But she shouldn't be annoyed by that anyway, I don't think. What do you guys think? Second, when she moved in, she didn't know how to use utilities like the washer, the dryer, the oven. And I lovingly showed her how to do it, but teased, come on, you're 26, but no problem, let me teach you. I don't think that that's a reason to get upset if you, I mean, I don't even know if that's lovingly, it's just playful, right? I mean, although I was just teasing, she would laugh. Apparently that really hurt her. It hurt her that you made a joke that she couldn't use the washer. That's a little too sensitive. I mean, it goes back to, I tell people this all the time. Hey, if you feel like you did something wrong, apologize. If you don't feel like you did something wrong, what are you backpedaling for? Because it'll never end. She thought I said it hurt her. I mean, she is of Muslim background and I had to be secret. Well, anytime you have to be a secret relationship, over time, that's going to affect your relationship long term. And the fact that you need to be kept a secret means that there's some kind of shame there. There's some kind of guilt there that you can't be exposed. And that puts pressure on the relationship. Whatever her reasons are her reasons, but it's not healthy for the relationship, especially if you're in your late 20s. I mean, you should be pretty open about it, and you should be proud of who you're seeing. If someone's trying to conceal you from their friends or family, what does that say, right? And it really hurts them as an individual. They're not being able to express who they are and what they want. I was the first guy she wanted to meet her parents. First guy she said, I love you too, and her favorite boyfriend. Favorite boyfriend? The fact that she wanted to do something but wasn't able to actually do it isn't a good thing. Had an argument mid-December and split up, but got back together on New Year's. A few days later, she was being distant in person, and I had ignored a text I sent. I told her I was going to give her space, but things blew up, and I said some mean things before I was hurt. Because I was hurt. Well, bottom line is you said mean things because you were hurt, but you also said mean things to hurt her. This is a classic case of how we project things and how we basically, if you hurt me, I want to hurt you. If you do something good for me, I want to do something good for you. So you were getting her back. And if you're ever in those situations, I think Jenny mentions that here about hurt. That's why you need to take a step back and not talk to your ex when you're really hurting inside, because you're going to say some things you don't mean later on. And it's really hard to back out of some shitty statements. You can't just, you said, and he doesn't even mention what he said. So it must've been pretty mean. Right. And what you said and how it affects an individual is different with the people it affects. Right. She ended things because of that. Her friends dislike me because of that. And she's even friends now with one bad ex that I have. Well, I mean, bottom line is friends are always going to take their friend's side. So regardless of that, if you did something wrong and someone's not willing to forgive you for it, it's time to move forward. You can only say sorry 1 or 2 times, and it doesn't count more. by saying sorry again and again. Be genuinely sorry, say it in a timely fashion, and then let it go. We were in communication in February. She did say she cares me and worries about me. Well, I don't want an individual. That doesn't mean she's attracted to you if she said she's worried about you. Last I heard from her March 2nd, I reached out March 8th and was ignored. If you're ignored, that's clarity. That means the person is really not that interested in this time period right now. Reached out again April 8th, so a full month later, was ignored and blocked. If you're ignored and blocked, now someone's saying, leave me alone, I don't really want to talk to you. Most likely she's in a new relationship. Hope you're doing well is what you wrote. Hope you're doing well is just a fishing statement. You know, it's very broad. And like I said, if you want to break no contact and go back to ground zero, that's just fine. But that's your clarity that the person's not interested. Close book. I am now in no contact for the third time. We are not social media friends, but she is with her other two exes. Well, that's something you shouldn't even know. Moving forward, use hair. Hey, I'm the one whose ex got a tattoo of my name, if you remember me. I'm drawing a blank right now. All right, let me finish this up. Anyhow, this individual right here who was on the show before, you need to move forward from this. If she's got two exes and you were her favorite boyfriend, there were some petty things about her being upset that you really hurt her on. She wasn't willing to introduce you to her family or her friends. She called you her favorite boyfriend as if you were in competition. There's all kinds of stuff here that doesn't seem like this is a very mature or healthy relationship going into your late 20s. And the only way you're going to get a better one is let go of this one. Tell me I'm wrong. So I hope that helps you. Now I'm going to pivot into some of these people that are on the live stream. Okay, Melted Blue met a new girl last night. So let me just get to EG here. How are you? I'm good, bud. What's the right definition for a long distance relationship? Good question. What's the right definition for an LDR? Well, I mean, I'm not the master of what's a definition or not, but in my opinion, if you live far enough apart where it takes you a 2 or 3 hour drive, I would say that's pretty much long distance, but your effort involved, right? I was in a long distance relationship where I lived in San Diego. She lived in the Bay Area. So that's an hour flight, but we weren't together officially. So we had a lot of freedom. So we'd see each other quite regularly, maybe once a month. Yeah, like for a year, once a month, and talk on the phone regularly. But the idea that it was open, that we didn't have this pressure like who are you with or what are you doing, but we had a high attraction level, that worked out really well. So I considered that a long distance relationship, but it wasn't official. And then we ended up official. But I think what really hurts people is when they go in a long distance relationship after being together and living together for a year, 2 years, 3 years, because it's like you go from here to here and it's really hard to get back that closeness, if you will. Hey, I'm the one whose ex got the tattoo of my name. Okay. Josh, who I started reading No More Mr. Guys Guy. Chapter 4 has me fucked up. I want to reach out to my ex about it. It described me to I'm sorry, I didn't show the rest of that comment. Anytime you say the F word, it hides it. And I don't know, describes me to the T. I haven't read that book in a while. I'm going to revisit it, Josh, who. It's a good book, though. It's a good book. It's on a lot of people's list. I'll have to go back over chapter 4 to revisit that. But it's another book that's interesting if you like No More Mr. Nice Guys, The Truth by Neil Strauss. I'll let you look that up on your own. That's a really good book. Met a new girl last night, going well, then drops the bomb. She's got a boyfriend, but in an open relationship. What the fuck? Laugh my ass off. Honesty prevails, man. I mean, there's people in open relationships all over the world, right? She goes out with you and she tells you up front, hey, I'm in an open. Some people would think that was really fucking neat. They'd be like, oh shit, I can see you regularly and it's not going to be serious. So, I mean, are you interested in just, I assume that she's just attracted to you, interested in hooking up. Are you interested in that? Can you keep it that way? Rudy L. Flores, 1 year no contact. Will she remember me? Well, unless she gets amnesia. I don't know how long you guys were together, but if you're together with someone, I mean, you remember your exes, you remember your classmates, you remember people you work with, doesn't mean you want to get back with them. You read it with 2 other stories. You basically told me that to no contact and really consider if I can be with someone who constantly lies. Update. She reached out and I decided I didn't want her back. Good for you, genius. Well, my approach is this. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but in that particular case, if someone's constantly lying, why would you? And the thing is, if she came back to you, it kind of feels good that you had the decision to buy or sell, if you will. It does feel good. I mentioned last time I liked your books. The one I liked is Mr. Nice Guy, still looking sad. Okay. What's up, Mac? Happy Saturday from Cali. Oh, AET. San Mateo. That was unbelievable when he said he lived in San Mateo. Unbelievable. Melted Blue. Nice, Izar. Yeah, nice. That's a great update because so many people want to just get back together and they're not taking inventory of like the relationship was actually bad or we actually don't match up really good right now. And the idea of just being single or alone is so scary that but then when the ex comes back after being in no contact, you're like, I'm okay. Oh, Mountain View's pretty close. Okay. Homo Google, right? Yeah. Mountain View's pretty close. San Mateo's, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from there. Yeah, guys, stick to no contact. Things will work out. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're working on 2 angles with no contact. You're working on yourself and moving forward and stacking that time in between contacting them and being in no contact. And you're also, if they do contact you, building up mystery and victim puking. I don't know what that is, Josh. Who? That's a little bit extreme. All right, let me Melted Blue sent me this email. Thanks for your input today. Started binge watching your YouTube. It's been 3 months, no communication. I have looked at social media time to time. When is it okay to contact my ex? How should I do it? So this is one of those things when I get emails like this, because Melted Blue, you're on right now. How should I do it? We both blocked each other months ago. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The idea is I need to know your full story to kind of give you a tailored response. This is very vague to me, but so if you want to send your email with your story and I could review it in a video soon. But if you've looked at her social media from time to time, what's your intentions? You're checking up on her. You want to see what she's up to. How does it make you feel after you check it? Really check in with that. Does it bring you back to ground zero? Does it upset you? Because anytime you're checking someone's social media that's your ex, you see a picture, you put a story to it, and then you feel like shit again. When is it okay to contact my ex? That's up to you. There's no time frame put on that, but I would probably have to see your story. But when someone asks me, 30 days, 60 days, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, I'm always like, it's up to you if you want to contact them back. The idea is that you're moving forward because they broke up with you in many cases, or the relationship wasn't good and it wasn't being fixed. How should I do it? Always do it with good intentions. If you are going to contact your ex and you haven't been in contact for a while, which most of the time I don't recommend, if you are going to do it, check your intentions at the door. Always, 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 always check your intentions. Am I trying to get back with them by just sending them a, hey, how have you been? Because if that's passive aggressive and if it doesn't work out, how long do they unblock you? How long do they unblock you? I don't know. That's a vague question. These generalized questions, that's why you have to write your story and send it to me, because then I'm responding directly to what happened in your relationship. How much you want to divulge and give to me is up to you. But to just say there's some general answer to a question like how long to unblock someone, there isn't, right? And there's no wrong or right. But the bottom line is until I can see like the story that I just read, I can't really unpack it. So we are at the 20-minute mark, and I have one more story to go through, or 2 more stories to go through. These are shorter. Hello, Coach Mac. Hope you are doing well. I'm 24 years old, and my girlfriend is 22. Thanks for giving the ages. We were together 1 year. For this past December, we left our country, and we moved to different ones so we can have a better future. We are living together since then. Since September, we worked for the same company. We had the same hours of work every day. Even our days off were the same. For some reason, she wasn't satisfied and she wanted to find a new job. So she wasn't satisfied with her job, not the relationship. So she quit the past month. I told her that if she wasn't happy with the job, she did the right thing to stop. Absolutely. Good way to support her. In the present day, she found a job as a flight attendant with less money in a different city. She has to take 2 buses, 1 hour total on the road to go to work, and another 2 to come back, and another hour. La-di-la-di-la. She will lose half her salary on bus tickets, and she will be gone from home at least 12 hours a day, 5 days per week at best. It sounds like she needs to get a different job. I work mostly afternoon and night, so when she's coming back home, we'll not be able to see each other. She left a job that had everything for a job that makes her lose not only money but time from our relationship. All right. So she left the job because she wasn't fucking happy with the job. Okay. The idea that it took away, now that she found a new job that she's interested in as a flight attendant, the benefits of being a flight attendant is traveling, a little adventure. So this idea that she took time from your relationship, I don't think that was her goal. Her goal was to find a better job that was more fulfilling. Now, this idea of her taking all these buses and taking all this time doesn't seem like it's very good for your relationship, but he says, I don't understand her decision. We'll talk to her about it. I feel like our relationship is going to suffer a lot from this. I want your opinion, coach. Keep up the good work. I love your content. Cheers. Well, if she took a new job, she's probably not gonna quit the job right away. Okay, so most people don't just take a job and bail. There's some reason she wanted to be a flight attendant. That's a pretty specific kind of job. Someone usually wants to travel and have more adventure. Tell me I'm wrong. Time from your relationship really wasn't on her radar, and you're probably gonna have to, for the next 3 or 4 months. You can't tell her like, I don't want you having that job. I mean, you guys are. She's 22 years old. She's 22 years old. She's feeling things out. Maybe she'll do this for a year. Maybe she'll do this for 6 months. Maybe she'll get sick of the bus rides. Maybe she'll find a better schedule, but you can't tell her not to have this job. And the idea that you feel like it's taking time away from our relationship, it's taking time away from you, right? And in your early 20s, this is what people do. She wasn't happy at the job. The idea, I applaud someone when they're not happy at a job to go get a new job. Maybe it's not the one, and maybe take less money, because your job is your life and it has a lot of effect on your emotions and your relationship. So give her a chance to kind of feel this job out. Don't put too much pressure on it. She made a change. If you love her and care about her, support her in this, and let her figure out if the bus ride and lack of time together is not enough. But don't just go into an ultimatum, or don't go into bitching and moaning about this, because she's not going to, if she just got the job as a flight attendant, she's not going to quit anytime soon. So I'm starting no contact tomorrow. Okay, Cindy sent me her story. I think he is seeing someone else. I'm thinking it will fall if I give it enough time. He can be so charming and funny, but is a cheap asshole, so I think she will see. Okay, why would you want a cheap asshole back? Hero, if I am no contact, should I post on IG? Well, if you're posting on IG for your friends and family or whoever is on IG, then do that freely. If you're posting trying to get the attention of your ex, I wouldn't recommend that. It's misleading. My ex blocked me on everything at the start, but then slowly unblocked me on everything. Mysterious, took like 2 months. Again, if anyone's reading this guy, he said his ex reached out after 2 months. Doesn't mean it's going to take 2 months for anyone else out there. This isn't victim puking. Chapter 4 of No More Mr. Nice Guy. I'll have to look that up, Joshu. That No More Mr. Nice Guy is really interesting to unpack, right? I'm so confused about IG. I saw your old videos where you said posting on IG is not a good idea. Excuse me, because they can track us and there will be no space for him to miss me. What do you think? I'm not sure if I was talking that in a specific video. All my videos are usually based on stories. So I would have to know your exact story. Hiracon, is that your real name? I would have to know your exact story. I don't think I've read your story before. I'm confused about IG. I saw your old videos where you said posting on IG is not a good idea. Well, I don't know. Are you posting directly to your ex? Or are you posting to a group? This is very vague. How do I reattach an ex if I took her for granted? How do I reattach an ex? Like get them attached to you? If you took someone for granted and I think your relationship was only 3 months, just take a break and work on yourself and do your thing. To literally reattach someone to you, I don't know the playbook for that. So maybe someone can add that. Wrote you an email with the text of him breaking up with me included. We met on a POF. He was on every day while we were together. Now isn't on there. It says he wants to try something different. I'm not going to read the text, son. I'm going to read your story right now. So this individual's on deck. Dear coach, I'm writing you with hope and desperation that can help me. Lose the dramatic desperation because that your words count. Please, I'm planning to implement no contact tomorrow as I've already texted my ex and he texted me back, although like 4 hours later. Following is the exchange of text messages for the last few days. Before that was virtual radio silence. Just want to tell you, thank you for being so kind to me and helping me through such tough times. I hope you're not too mad at me for not texting you that I told you. I have to try something different. I only want the best for you and for you to be happy. And I want to be happy to always want to be your friend. Then I said, I'm not mad at you at all. And I appreciate that. And no. Then he said, okay. I said, okay. And then I said, I do most definitely appreciate all the things you have done for us. So most definitely keep in touch if you feel like it. Then he said, I will. Then I drank a bottle of wine. I know. And I wrote this. I have no idea why you sent me these text messages you sent me today. Then he said, then you pretend you didn't get it. So then I said, okay, I really do hope whatever you are hoping for works out for you. And you're mean. I'm just kidding. He said, I try not to be mean. I said, I know, you're awesome. Okay, so here's the thing. Just reading this is a little bit exhausting because it's better to write out like an actual story than to just do content like just these conversational things. You do whatever you need to do that thinks it makes. You guys are playing games with each other. You're trying to hurt each other. 1 minute you want him back, but you're angry about the result because he's not being reciprocal and he's not being receptive. So this is what happens when you're in contact and you probably need to go into no contact is that someone says something sweet and kind, but it's not what you want. It's like, we can be friends and we can talk, we can do this. And I think you can find someone better. I think you have these kinds of things. And you're like, yeah, okay. And then you're accepting, and then it bothers you like, but I want to get back together. And then you say something mean. It doesn't help you guys, but you have no right to tell me what makes me happy. I mean, okay, you have no right to tell me what makes you happy. If you feel like someone's it's pugnacious, then he said, sorry. I told him that he had no right to tell me that I wasn't happy with him. And I was always happy, even just going down to the river with him and doing nothing. We were together 15 months. I am 53 and he's 50. And during that time, he had a major neck surgery and was successful, but I didn't ease the chronic neck pain that he is in. But didn't ease. Okay, I believe there through some clues that he is seeing someone else. If he's seeing someone else, that's your clarity to move on and move forward. If he's mean to you, that's your clarity to move on and move forward. Do I have any chance at all if I can painfully weather the no contact and maybe even if he is seeing someone else? This idea that you're in desperation, this idea that you're painfully weathering something is dramatic. You need to reframe how you're structuring your words and say, I'm going into no contact for me. I'm a strong individual. You need to rewrite that script and saying, oh, this is going to be painfully to weather it. This is so desperate. It's just negative feeding and it's not going to help you. No contact. Maybe even if he is seeing someone else, it will fall apart. See, that's a negative outlook too. If he's seeing someone else, it'll fall apart and I can jump in. You shouldn't be in a mode where you're waiting and hoping and trying because someone else is seeing someone else. You should be in a mode where, like, if he's going to do that, I know what makes me happy. I'm able to move forward in a way that doesn't need to be a part of his life at this point. And if he wants to call me back, that's up to him, and it's going to be a choice moving forward for me. My ex told me to stop chasing her, that she never gave me a reason to pursue her, then cried while we held each other. Next day, she said, forget we made plans to meet up and talk. I don't really understand what you mean, Josh. Sorry. It's a different crew than usual here. Let me know if this is let me just get you guys. I got 12 people on deck here. Let me know do you like this kind of format in a live stream, me going over 3 personal stories that were sent in, or would you prefer us to do some topics when we do a live stream? I enjoy doing a live stream. I don't know if people don't like the idea that I'm reading someone else's story. And the thing is, that's why on writemac.com I'm transitioning into charging $25 per story. The reason is when you pay money, you spend a little bit more time writing out your story, and you're a little bit more thoughtful about what you write, the structure of it, and it comes out a lot better. If it's free, you just kind of throw some shit together, and it's usually highly confusing, and you're just throwing it up in the air. That's good, Cindy. Okay. It's Josh who. Okay. So give me some feedback on that. Cindy, like I said, I just read your story. And I mean, you got to get in a mode where you're embracing no contact for you. You're not treating it like this is going to be so difficult. It's the only option if you guys are communicating and you're in a position where you're even upset that he's telling you how to be happy. Rudy Flores, always like your contents, Coach Mac. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. My question being, when I do these live streams, like today, maybe we won't talk about it now. I was going to talk about top 5 breakup songs. It's kind of a random thing, but it's fun to talk about in a live stream because everyone has a breakup song that they relate to or they're really into. So I just came across that recently. Little apple juice. Love apple juice. So we're in a holding pattern right now. Anyone else have some questions, or else I'm gonna take off. We got 32 minutes in here. Anyone got a pressing question or a comment for a future live stream? Hey, Mac, I like the live stream, but reading stories should be kept separate because you got other peeps typing to you and you get a little distracted. You're right, hon. I agree with you. It is a little distracting. I'm playing with this live stream, and you're right. I enjoy it. I enjoy the live stream, and it is. It's not the same as when I'm all in on the story. You're right. But topic in a live stream is nice. Okay. Give me a topic, AET. California living. Diego's finest. Steve Rattle. Interesting name. Steve Rattle here. How you doing, Steve? Call me Mr. Rattle. How do you feel? How do you deal with no contact with just friends? Well, that's interesting because I'm a breakup person, being alone after I break up for a while. Okay, that's a topic you suggest. What do you mean in that, AAT? How to deal with being alone? Is that what you want to say, hon? Okay. Let's go to Steve Rattle real quick. I'll circle back. How do you deal with no contact with just friends? Haven't had this question before. I don't know if you're meaning that you're friends with your ex, so your ex's friends, or you're just talking about friends in general. I mean, I've definitely had friends before that I guess you'd call it no contact, where I'm just like, I'm done speaking to that person because something happened. They showed their true colors, and it's like, I don't really want to be friends with them anymore. If I came across them, I'll probably be cordial, but I just had that happen recently. Someone said something like highly offensive. I was just like, I'm just going to not talk to them for a while. I guess that would be considered no contact. But again, you always, when you do no contact and you do these kind of things, what's your intentions? What's your intentions of no contact with your friends? To get their attention, to move forward, to let them know that you don't accept anything, or just because you don't want to talk to them? Cindy, maybe you could do topics. It would help the live audience. Okay. Yes, topic. Like how to deal with what we should do. How do I reattract an ex if I took her for granted? EG, stop trying. This is big. Like people look for the secret sauce. And there's probably like, you can go to a pick. I'm not a pickup artist. I tell people this all the time. If you want to go to like one of these channels about read The Game by Neil Strauss and then read The Truth by Neil Strauss. And this dude went into like, I think he was in Southern California. He's a big time author. He was a dork or a nerdy guy, and he turned himself to a master pickup artist. And it's like if you want to learn how to reattract your ex, the best way is to make yourself attractive. The best way to make yourself attractive as a man is to be on your purpose, move forward, not try so hard. I mean, think about, there's some women in this chat too. Like, what are you attracted to as women? Do you like a guy that's trying hard? I mean, the idea that you want to reattract someone, the guys that are most attractive is like, I don't really give a fuck at this point. It's like, have you ever, I've had this happen where I started talking to a girl and then she just gave me a cold shoulder and I was just like, fine, done, right? And that's attractive because you're not being an annoying salesman. You're not being like, oh, let me see how much more I can do, right? So to reattract an ex, to me, the best way to do it is to not care anymore. Okay, let me get back to being alone after a breakup for a while. How do you deal with that? Takes time, man. Takes time. Keep traveling, which you've been doing. Move to a new area, possibly. Journaling, people do a lot. One thing that I've been recommending to a lot of people that's been going over well is volunteer work, which sounds like an easy answer. We always talk about the gym, but doing some kind of volunteer work, changing jobs if you're extremely lonely, something that's more active. I've made that recommendation before. Embracing being alone sometimes, doing things that you enjoy to do alone. You're gonna get back on deck at some point, right? And I mean, what are the triggers that are making you feel really lonely too? Is there like you come home at 8:30 at night when you used to hang out with your ex, and is that the time that you feel extremely lonely? So take note of what the times that you feel really lonely, and then in those time spaces, actually do something. So I've talked about this in other videos. But one of the things I did at 8:30 at night when I had a breakup or a bad breakup was I joined 24-hour fitness and started going to the gym late to play hoops and do things. And I didn't have any friends at that gym. The other gym I went to, I had a load of friends and all this stuff. And it was a good way to offset the fact that that time frame was a really down place for me. It's been 3 months. Say there's no contact. It's been 3 months. Say there's no contact. He contacted me. I didn't know how to respond to his texts. I don't want to be my ex-friend. I want to get back with him. Jenny. Well, I mean, if it's been 3 months, you're going 0 to 100 by going like, I want to get back together. They contact you. It's like, go out, hang out. Don't even fucking call it a date. Oh, let's go get lunch. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go, whatever. Let's go walk the dog. I don't care. But reconnect and hang out. This idea that you want to get back together is just like, whew. It's like if you haven't talked in 3 months, you got to see if you like hanging out with each other. I will pay money if you can help me get my ex back. I don't listen. I do live coaching sessions that cost money. I do private email responses that cost money, but I don't guarantee to get people their ex back. So go to Brad Browning or someone else. If you want to unpack your story and get some fucking serious clarity, talk about it, have someone listen intently like myself and really get to the bottom of why this is going on and get a little deeper about your role in the situation. But to quote unquote, get your ex back, I've had other people be like, if you get him back, I'll pay you. It's like, no, I'm not that coach. I help you with breakups and I help you with dealing with what's going on in your individual situation. I'm happy to do that. And it's useful and helpful information. I make great connections with people, but quote unquote, getting your ex back, like as in a guarantee of some sort, no. And a lot of times, I'd say half the time, you or your partner aren't a good match and you need to unpack that and look at it at that point. Yeah, letting go of any expectations of your ex is the way to go, and just move on with your life is the way to go. Yeah, absolutely. Expectations are big because you're going to get disappointed. You know, Steve Rattle, we were texting each other on a regular basis for 9 months and hang out for about 4 times already. I'm like, what? I got to look up Mr. Rattle again. Steve Rattle here. Love the name. That can't be your real name, Steve Rattle. So this is the friends thing, I think, with Mr. Rattle. We were texting each other on a regular basis for 9 months and hang out for 4 times already. You've hung out 4 times in 9 months? I don't know what kind of relationship that is. I find it attractive when guys act indifferent. Okay, thanks for a woman's perspective. Thank you, AET. And just move on with their purpose. It's attractive to see that on social media. Okay, let's unpack this a little bit, because how can a guy convey that he's indifferent or on his purpose in social media? Give an example of that, AET. From a woman's perspective, I think what you're saying is true. I mean, why do women love musicians, like guys that play guitar in a band or something like that? I've had friends over the years, or artists, and because they don't follow the social norms. Usually they kind of dress in a different style, kind of let themselves go. They don't give a shit most of the time. That's what's attractive. You know, I think that that's what obviously they're on stage and they got a lot of people around them and stuff like that. But the idea that a guy is indifferent to someone's expectations or someone's opinions of them, I think is what's attractive to a lot of women. Follow-up question. I mean, does she remember the feeling after a year of no contact? We've been together 1.5 years, and her ex crushed our relationship. I feel I'm a rebound. Sad. Well, I'm sorry that you're sad. Rudy L. Rudy L, is this a man or a woman? I don't know that name, Flores. If you're okay, the ex didn't crush the relationship. Okay. Your ex was receptive to the other ex. And so that was clarity for you. I feel I'm a rebound. Well, where's your power in that, Rudy L, Flores? Where's your power? Are you powerless? No. You get up and you go, I'm sad. I'm tired of feeling this way. What do I need to do? Go out and go for a run, put some good music in, get back on deck, and start taking some power back. This idea that, the ex, that if they ruined it, your current ex had a role in that. If we've been together 1.5 years and our ex crushed our relationship, right? If you feel you're a rebound, where's your power? The routine makes me feel lonely. Okay, the routine. So check your routine, AET. What's your current routine? Maybe you don't want to share that on open live stream, but change your routine, because there's some kind of pockets in that routine that you used to spend time with your ex. I think you said you used to share a dog, and you had your father or his father. No, your father was close to him. Some kind of family business, I think. It is uncomfortable feeling to pursue someone else when you're not over the person after a long-term relationship. If it's a long-term relationship, what's hilarious? If it's a long relationship, it's hard. It takes way more time. Like I was in a 5-year where we lived together for 4 years. We even lived with my sister and my niece and nephew, so it was like a family thing. So we had like a 4-bedroom house. And that's totally different game, man. Like that doesn't, you don't just go like, oh yeah, like let me start going to the gym and I'll feel better. Fuck no, it doesn't work that way. It all helps, but none of it's like an answer. All right. And you will start to feel better a little bit. But this idea that like, it's hard. I mean, think about this. Have you had a car that was your car for like 8 years or 10 years? Stay with me on this. Like anyone out there that's had a car for a while, and it was kind of like, when you let go of that car, you sold it. It was kind of hard because it was like, I had a lot of good memories in that car. It's a little piece of you. And then whenever you see those cars, whatever it is, I used to have an 88 Bronco when I was 16, 17, up till my early 20s. And I always see an 88 Bronco or something on the road. I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking cool car, man. I remember those. I wish I would still had my Bronco or this, because you just associate it with being a part of you. It's actually an object. It's actually not that special a thing, because cars get you from A to B. It's in your head, the stories that you have with it. Now you take that a step further with an ex that you spent 6 or 7 hardcore years with, thick and thin. It ain't just going to go away. It's going to take time. It ain't the movies, right? Hi, Mac. What's up, Skinner? Well, if he's not contacting you at all, he acts unfazed by what his ex is doing and just driving forward. Okay. That is some awesome insight. Thanks, Cindy. I don't know if that's for me or for someone else. Glad I caught this. No problem, Skinner. Why would my ex tell me to stop chasing her, then hold on to me and cry? Well, don't take directions from her, number one. Be your own self. Be your own man. Some people are indirect, highly emotional in the moment. Tell me to stop chasing her. I mean, if I was going to a vague statement like that, I would say that she's saying to you at this point, she's not going to be receptive to you. That you're maybe being annoying and unattractive by chasing her. But I mean, there's some other women that'd be like, oh, why don't you fight for the relationship? And then hold on to me and cry. If someone's holding on to you and cry, sometimes they're saying goodbye. Getting over your ex is sometimes easy to say. Oh, absolutely. Much easier. The one that helped me here, realization, is that they are not heroes and that we must not idolize them. Okay, Helen. Okay. The one that helped me is the realization that they are not heroes. Yeah, and I always tell people a lot of times, and if people do live coaching and I send them an email, I'm like, this relationship doesn't define you of who you are and what you're going to be and what you're going to do in the future. 6 years is deep. Yo. Yo. You can't play with my yo-yo. I just came across that song recently. Did good if I said sorry to my ex for taking her for granted. You got a lot of issues, EG. You're way too much worried about that. You got the mouse wheel running because you've come to another live stream before, and thanks for joining, bud. I mean, thanks for being a part of it. You haven't thrown me a like, but it's okay. We're still rolling. But you keep coming back to the same thing over and over again, that you neglected her, you took her for granted. Those are ways of saying the same thing. And you're not going to be able to prove that to her. Okay. What you need to do is regroup. I believe you told me you're 20 years old. You're a young dude. So you need to regroup. And this is a learning experience. Thanks for the like, bro. This is a learning experience, right? Okay. This is a learning experience for you right now. So when you get in the next relationship, you won't do the same fucking thing. You can't go back and be like, oh, you know what? I took you for granted. Let me show you right now how it's different. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You built a case for who you are, and now someone believes you're this way. They're not going to go, oh my God, we went out to dinner and you were not taking me for granted. Now it's going to change. Ooh. Nope. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. And here's the thing. We all have routines. We all have ways about us. And if it was working in the 3-month relationship where you were quote unquote neglecting her, you probably didn't even know you were doing it. Right now, if you get on your purpose, you get to work. This is the biggest thing for people. Very general. It's true. It's something I would say. It's like, how do I find my purposes? You start doing new stuff. It's like AET was saying she went traveling quite a bit. It's like you just get a little bit from here and there. You make some moves. You go on some bad dates. You take a new job. Maybe the new job sucks, but you're making fucking moves. You don't want to be sitting still. You don't want to be watching TV. It's like You want to be active. This is what's great about this live stream. At least it's interactive for you guys, right? You're actually doing something. You're contributing to other things, but you want to move. You want to take some shots. It's like one of my clients, he said he finally did some volunteer work and he had some extra time on his hands. He's in between jobs. And he was like, my heart was pumping so much, like when these people were in front of me. And so I'm like, that's fucking outstanding. That means you're alive, dude. That means that you haven't been out of the house enough recently if your heart was pumping when you're pouring soup for poor people. You know what I mean? That means that then he goes, I was kind of excited and nervous and this and that. It's like, that's actually a good feeling. That means you're testing yourself at the limits. Do some shit like that. You don't need to go out bungee jumping to do that stuff. Miguel Izeda. What about if she was the one that left me and she was the one being really mean? Mean seems so young, right? You're being mean to me. Disrespectful, mean, while you never did anything wrong. What about if she was the one that left me and she was, well, then I would tell her, thanks for leaving because I was going to leave you pretty soon. Someone's being mean and disrespectful in your relationship. Why would you want to be with them? It's like, I've been in multiple relationships. I've had 4 serious girlfriends. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I'm like, wow, she's mean and disrespectful to me all the time. Was there a few times in a relationship where there's like classified something mean? Not very fucking often. Disrespectful? Maybe a couple times. But I'll tell you what, when shit got disrespectful, that was the beginning of the end of the relationship. Right? And you got to be honest, like what's disrespectful to you? Some people that get really jealous can get disrespected on a whim. You know, Steve Rattle, 9 months of texting and hang out 4 times. And I finally said that I have a feeling for her. And she said she wants us to just be friends. Should I apply no contact? I mean, this is kind of a no offense, Steve Rattle. It's a shallow relationship. So you got nothing to lose by being her friend or not being a friend. You guys see each other 4 times in 9 months. I mean, what was it like when you guys met up as friends? Do you feel like there's a strong attraction? I mean, tell me out there, when you go out somewhere with someone and it's vibing, you shouldn't feel awkward. There should just be a vibe. You should just be having good conversation. It's like me, I'll go out and I'll have a conversation. When I do live coaching sessions, this isn't a relationship. I can talk for 2.5 hours straight and not miss a beat, right? When you go out with someone, you've seen them 4 times in 9 months and you guys haven't made more of an effort to see each other in person. Texting doesn't have shit on live contact. It's like that, you know, I can't even, it's just totally different, right? Especially texting and not talking. Like in this day and age, why aren't you using FaceTime or a video thing? Building a case is a good way to look at it. Good insight on that. It is true. It's absolutely true. And the thing is, once a case is built, it's not like you can just tear that apart and say it's not true. Everyone's building a case on who they are when they first meet you. Oh, this guy's this guy's that, this person's this. And that's the difficult thing. If people have known you a long time and you want to change, they're like, oh, that's not who you are, because it makes people really fucking uncomfortable when they've known you for years to be a certain way and they know what to expect from you. And then all of a sudden you start changing and they're like, oh, that's not who you are. Or you're trying to be. Hey, you can change anytime you want. You can reinvent yourself. It's a way of life. Can no contact help me get my ex back in a new relationship? If he's in a new relationship. Well, if your ex is in a new relationship, your only option is no contact. What are you going to sit on the sidelines and be like, hey, if if like things aren't working out with who you're with now, just hit me up anytime. That's how should I say this? Pathetic. I mean, you don't want to be talking to someone when they've already taken someone else on. That's your clarity right now. We're dust. We're done. I would never want to go to an ex and go, oh, you're seeing someone? Oh, and when John's not available, give me a call anytime. How is that going to make you feel? No contact is your best option. Is it going to get them back? Well, the only thing that'll probably get them back is if they get dumped by their new current person or they're not happy with them. But then you're just option B. You should be living your life moving forward. How's the Thai tea in Thailand? I don't really drink Thai tea, the chais. I drink coffee only in the morning. But yeah, I don't really drink the tea here, but it's sweet. It's really sweet. They put a lot of syrup, like a sugar syrup, in any kind of coffee drink or any of those things. So you always have to tell them first. Good day, Mac. Mio Legara. Big fan. Started as a 4-month NSA. I don't know what NSA. I caught feelings. I'm 34. I mean, NSA, is that the people that work at the airport? I caught feelings. I'm 35. She is 26. So I let her go. She came back after 6 weeks. What's up, Mikey Mike? Rudel Flores. I don't know. You sent me a YouTube video and they hit it. Is that a video of mine? Now we're making some moves. We got 16 on deck. We got some questions coming in. All right, keep it coming. Let's go. I'm at an hour right now. Good day, Mac. Mio Legara. Where are you from, man? Where's that name from? Let's see here. I caught feelings. I'm 34. She is 26, so I let her go. 4 months. What's NSA mean? She came back. Her 6 weeks, no contact. She was not over her ex, and I took her back. Lasted 6 months. Well, there's your clarity, man. I mean, the thing is, there's no rhyme or reason to this. I haven't personally been with someone that I guess was like a rebound of some sort. I'm trying to think. I guess I can classify one of my relationships that way. And when we broke up, we were together 2 years. She actually went back to her ex, but it wasn't in one of those ways that we had a mutual breakup. So it wasn't one of those ones where I got dumped or she got dumped. It was long distance. You are right. She would attack me personally, would insult me and my friends. Why would you ever want to be with someone like that, Miguel? Come on, dude. I would be always telling her to respect. You shouldn't be telling someone to respect you. If there's an incident where someone's disrespectful, you need to fucking address that incident on the fucking spot. My thing has always been, I'll tell you a big one for me. It's like my parents, when I was young, would fight or argue or stuff like that, but they would never do it publicly. If someone does something publicly, like I've had friends where like their girlfriends or they put someone down in like a dinner or something like that. That's a major no for me. I would never do that. If I'm upset with you and we're together, I would never put you in a position to embarrass you. We might be able to have it out and have a chat about it and have an argument in private, but that to me is the most. If she does that like in a group, and I was just dealing with someone about this recently about being disrespected in a group of friends. The guy was saying that she was making fun of his car and stuff, that he had a van and she was making jokes around her friends. To me, that's fucking totally out of line and says a lot about your character. If you're riding with someone and that's your girlfriend, that's a representation of you also. So when you put them down, that tells me a lot about how you feel about yourself. Yet she wouldn't care. I would like to thank you for doing what you do. Right on, Miguel. Where are you from, bud? Rudel, been watching this. No strings attached. Meow. I don't know what that means. I had to dump. Mikey Mike had to dump his girl, huh? Isn't the word dump so negative? It's like thinking about language and how it works and stuff, and you think like, I got dumped. I dumped her. Rudel Flores. Yes. So it's one of my videos. Migo Legara, Canada. All right. Welcome, man. Great country. Been to Victoria a few times off the coast of Vancouver. I love that place. Helen, I'm assuming, do you think, coach? Yeah, sometimes I think. We lost the art of communication to express our needs to each other. I mean, getting real talk. I know what you mean by that. The text messaging. Again, we have more power than you think. I know that when I do live coaching sessions and we talk for 2 hours, 3 hours, people are like, wow, that feels really good to talk to someone in a real conversation where each other's paying attention, because I don't think it happens as much, right? And you're right. But saying that, Helen, you can take control of that, right? You don't have to. Sorry, my phone's going off here. You don't have to accept that as a rule. You can say like, all right, wait a minute, I want to have more conversations. It's like my mom. I talk to my mom once a week. I talk to my mom once a week, and we talk on FaceTime or we talk on. But we don't spend a bunch of time text messaging each other. I mean, I send her text, but to have full conversations that way, you're losing some things. Let me get back to this. I don't want to ignore anyone. It's your topic on ex disrespecting relationship. Oh, okay. Thanks. I don't know why they hide that. Thanks for sharing that, huh? Or sir, I'm not sure. Rudy L, I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman. So it's like AET's like, I'm a woman, not a dude. I'm like, sorry. So this is a YouTube video on no strings attached, I guess. Rudy L. Is your topic on ex disrespecting relationships? Okay, thanks for posting that. I appreciate that. Thanks for helping out. NSA, no strings attached. I'm thinking NSA at the airport. Are they called NSA when they? God, that's a miserable job. I'm sorry if anyone has that job. I always feel like, damn, man, you are earning your paper, because that job, like having to tell people, take your belt off, take your shoes off in the States. And it's just like, damn, man, you got to do that for 8 or 9 hours. That's tough. Hats off to you. It's like one of my mom's friends was like, oh, they get great benefits. Great benefits. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, but I mean, at a certain level, you still need to like live life. Sitting somewhere and having to tell people to like take off all their stuff and go through a machine and feel uncomfortable. And you do that for 8, 9 hours a day. They never look happy. Tell me I'm wrong. No strings attached. Okay. I mean, if you're talking to someone, no strings attached, at what point are you, and they just want to be friends, they're not willing to take it to the next level, fine. If you want to be friends with someone and take that role, sometimes it works. But you're putting a lot of eggs in one basket that's not, Hey Mac, the rapper Whale. I don't know who the rapper Whale is. I know who Dre Dog is, who used to have Killer Whale. If you know for the Bay Area, that's a big one. Dre, which is Nicotina now, dropped some good wisdom. He said in your 20s, you jump around from relationship to relationship, but in your 30s, you proceed with caution because you are more self-aware. Preach. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking to someone recently, and I was like, when you turn 30, that might be the real adulthood, actually. Because I look back at my 20s and I'm like, oh God, the opportunities for work and different things and mentors I had that I didn't do anything bad to them. I just didn't appreciate some of those things. And yeah, your 30s your 20s, you're still finding yourself. I had a pretty long relationship in my 20s. It was great. But you're finding out who you are, right? And what's the difference now at AET is that people are changing jobs or changing because the information from the internet now. It's like grandma and grandpa. I've said this in a video before. My grandma and grandpa, they had the same car for 20 years, the same carpet, the same TV, the same house. Very comfortable going to church every Sunday. My grandpa was, they do the same things for 40, 50 years. The next generation in their 20s, they're going to be changing shit all the time. And my generation, I'd say we were medium. You're in your 30s right now. We had a little taste of everything. I saw a Zenith TV in a wooden frame. If she made fun of my van, I'd make her ass walk home and respect the bus. It's a little harsh, Mike, but yeah, I mean, this guy that was talking about it was saying that they were actually in a group having breakfast. I think it was like Christmas too, and she just brought up shit like it's tacky stuff, but in front of a group. You know what I mean? Like, I would never have a girlfriend like make fun of me to her friends. Like, there's stuff you can joke about, and then there's stuff that like, really? Like you're making an ass out of someone in front of a group? Nah. Dude. Talk, Helen. I played it too cool. Okay. Thanks for helping out, Helen. Jenny Duca, I would like to know that too. Will no contact work on an ex if they are with someone else? Someone new. It's your own, if your ex is with someone new, what are your other options? Let's unpack this. This is what I like to do rather than tell you exactly what to do. If your ex is with someone new, what are your other options than no contact? Showing up, texting them while they're with someone else, being a side play. Tell me what the other options are. So that being said, the best option of being no contact is not to get them back. It's not going to work to get them back. Can it work? Yes. Do not go into it with the mindset, oh, this will work to get them back. I mean, what are you chasing if they're with someone else? And the idea that they're with someone else opens up all this other things. It takes away all your energy to do other stuff, because then you're going to be thinking like, oh, they're not good enough for them. Oh, they picked a bad person. If you're attached to the idea that someone's in a new relationship, you got to let that go. You got to let that ride. And at a certain point, no contact will work to get an ex back if they are in a new relationship, but it also won't work. There's no guarantee to it. There's no percent. There's no study done at Harvard or any of that shit. Okay. But I would say if they're with someone new, what are your other options? What are your other options than to be in no contact? And why not go into no contact with your fucking head high instead of going, oh yeah, if I do this and I post a few pictures, I'm clever and I do the right things and maybe I can get them back. They just flew the flag and said, I'm done with you and I found someone else. I'm not telling you you shouldn't feel bad about yourself. You should go, you know what? That's my cue to get moving and live my life as a calm, cool individual. Might have to take some time healing. It's going to hurt, but I'm not going to be anyone's sidekick. For me, that would be very clear for me. If I had an ex, they have someone new, I'm like, they're with someone. I had an ex call me while they were having problems with their new boyfriend and stuff. And we used to talk. Obviously, I like to talk about relationships and things like that. So I was there for her. We were quote unquote friends. We were over the relationship in that way. And we were cordial. I had no expectations. And I would talk to her. And then she's got some problem with him. And she's like, I'd like to actually come see you. And in my head, I was like, no. I'm with someone right now, this and that. But I mean, she was ready to jump ship and have someone waiting. Now, if you're thinking like you're going to be that ship waiting, what's that? Right? Well, I mean, oh yeah, you're having problems in your relationship right now. Come over, hang out with me. That's fine. It's pretty shallow, actually. She's bringing too much stress over time with the shit testing. She wanted me to take off from work to see her graduate. I told her, why not see if the ceremony is on my day off? Well, I mean, if the graduation's a big deal to her, which I don't know what she graduated from, Mikey, but I don't know if it was college. I don't know if it's a particular thing. Anytime you graduate, if you have a loved one to support you and be there with you, that's a big deal. I'm from Canada. Okay, another Canadian. She was my first serious relationship, so I had zero experience. Tried to be as comprehensible as possible. I don't know what that means. I was just too unexperienced. I was told I did too much for her by her friends. I got NSA means no strings attached. Well, that's your lesson, Miguel. That's your lesson, bro. I mean, that if just because you were inexperienced and all that other stuff, that's how you learn, right? It's like, have you ever learned how to ride a bike? You fell a lot in the beginning, and now you can ride a bike anytime, anywhere. It's like now you go into the next thing. Read some good books on relationships. Read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi, Models by Mark Manson. Do some research. Get in the lab. So now in the next relationship, you're not in that position again. Because if this is your first relationship, I'm assuming you're a young guy that has a few relationships ahead of him. I mean, think about how many people, this used to really get me when I was in my breakup. How many people have been married multiple times and came out of it okay? It's like my grandma was married 4 times, lost 3 husbands, death. It was like, Jesus. I remember thinking like, Grandma, how'd you do that? Grandma had a great personality. And she pivoted each time, man. People I work with or don't care and I pay child service. I refuse to put my purpose and livelihood on the line. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Well, just make sure that you convey that to her, that you're not just saying no to the graduation. You're like, my job comes first at this point. Putting food in my kids' mouths comes first. It's not personal. And, tell her, look, surprise her, maybe take her out for an early dinner or post dinner for graduation. Hey, I want to take you out for graduation. I know I can't be there, but I'll take you out for a nice dinner, something like that. But if she's going to be like, wow, you can't take off this and that. Well, if that's what you value and she doesn't value, Coach Mac, NSA means no strings attached. I got it. Yes, dump, but who's getting dumped at the end? I'm not sure I understand what you mean, Helen. TSA. See? TSA, that's what they're called. NSA, National Security Agency. I don't know. I mean, there's so many of these different ones. NSA would be NASA too, or NASA would be, God forbid if they stink. You're funny, Coach. I'm laughing out loud here, and it's almost midnight here. Good. It's good to laugh at late at night. He means Wale. Okay, so it's a different rapper. Well, that's what he. Whale. That's what he meant to say. I'm a dude, Coach. Okay, thanks for telling me. I'm not sure with some of these names. I'm trying to embrace no contact here, watching you, but I was sad. So you're sad watching the show, Cindy? Hey, look, it's tough. No contact stuff. You mentioned you drank a bottle of wine while you wrote the thing. I'm not the moral police, as I tell people, but I'll tell you this: drinking and doing any extracurricular stuff when you're in no contact sometimes doesn't help. It definitely doesn't help with sadness. But if you want, Cindy Heaton, what I'll do for you is I will send you, I have a PDF with 10 questions I actually send to people that are doing a live coaching session. I'll send those over to you and you can answer them for yourself and unpack them. If you want to do a live coaching session, we could do that too. But the idea that I'm going to guarantee to get your ex back, no. I had a guy over the last 6 months. He sent me a story. I read it. He was in a divorce. I think they were together 20 years, 18 or 20 years. So he was hurt, right? And they're going through dividing up the assets, the house. It was getting dirty. But this guy's story and everything, he would send me these emails that he was so desperate to get his ex back, but his ex kept conveying that they were done. I'm not going to get into the details of all his emails. And I really felt for him. I had such compassion for him, and I took time to email him back and give him my take. But he was like this, like he wasn't listening to her. She was done. If you're at 18, 20 years and you make the decision to get a divorce and you get a lawyer and you're ready to sell the house, it's hard to just go yeah, let's get back together. And the things that she was saying. And he just kept saying I'll pay you. Just make sure you can get her back. You can get her back. And it's no. I don't want you to pay me to do that. What I'll do is, if you want to go over the relationship and what happened and why you broke up and really unpack things and get really clear on what happened and kind of look at how we can move forward and, dissect things a little bit, that's what I'll help you with. But the idea that I will get your ex back and you'll pay me for that, no, I'm not Brad Browning, dude. That's not what I do. And if someone else does that out there, I think it's misleading. Because every relationship's so different. There's different circumstances. There's no general rules to this. Hey, Mac, what if your ex has been single this whole time as well as after a year? What's your take on that? I don't know enough about the rest of the story, but if the ex has been dormant, if you will. I mean, how do you know they've been single the whole time? They've been seeing people. Someone might say, oh, it's obvious they're not over you. I don't know. I'd have to know the story of the individual. I'd have to know more about that individual to judge that. But if they've been single the whole time, they're obviously in a place It could be a few different things. All right, let's unpack this. It could be that they like being single and seeing multiple people. They could have gone on a dating app. I've seen that before where, they never got a new boyfriend, but they were out partying quite a bit and hooking up. Doesn't mean they weren't seeing people. So some people, especially people in their 20s, a lot of times, when they get out of a relationship, it's like, oh shit, now I can see multiple people and kind of party and do things. So that could be the case. Or they just, they're at a time too where they're catching their breath. We'll let her take the bus home with that group. Age 22. If he clowns on your car, you don't need that. That shows her character. Move on. No, not really. But the rebound on her and won't last if it's the best move. Okay, you guys are having a little conversation here. We'll move up. I would do this if she was with someone and they dump her. I would move forward and not take her back if she came back. I wouldn't want her back because she created soul ties with someone else. Soul ties with someone else? I've never heard that statement. But the bottom, the grand ship had left already. Okay. When someone starts seeing someone else, especially, I could be wrong about this because I'm not a woman, but as a man, I think it affects our ego more if someone's with someone else. And I'm talking to guys in live coachings. It's a big deal because a lot of guys will say, if I just know she's with someone else, I'll be done. It's like, if I find that out, I'll be done, because ego wise, they feel like they're dust. Oh, AT. Oh, hell no. Nah. Soul ties? Yeah, move on. You can find someone back to you. She graduated from her mom. Okay, I don't know how that works. Dude, get a life. Nolan, dude, get a life. Who are you talking to, Nolan? Nerdy Fit Bean. Cool. I remember you. I do remember you. I hope you're doing well. Who? Wow. Okay. Now I know why they block things when people come on like this. Cool. It's like, you see what I told her. I told her that, but she still got all the attention and said, "The hell with that." Okay, let me go through this. No, what the fuck? Yeah, Mike. I don't know. It's just some guy that I think he's trolling. I haven't. My channel's not that big. I haven't dealt with a lot of people that they call them trolls or try to mess with you. I've had a few bad comments, but not many. And I don't know. For me, maybe it's time for no contact for people like this. Nerdy Fit Bean, one of the coolest little tag names. Hey Max, Sissy from Singapore. My ex came back from Melbourne to collect some letters from our shared apartment. She told me she signed the divorce paper with the husband and already on Tinder dating someone else. It's all good. I don't want her back anyway. Well, I think you were in a really good place. And the way you were, because this individual sent me her story and did a private response, and we had some responses in between that. I'm happy that you're in a really good place because you seem like really good people, Nerd Fit Bean. And I remember you're a really good writer, because I get so many people that write kind of stories that are really hard to follow. So really good to hear from you. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you're doing all right. And it goes back to, I don't want her back anyway, even though it hurts and you had an outstanding connection and stuff. The fact that she came back and you guys collect some letters from our shared apartment. She told me she signed the divorce paper with the husband and already on Tinder dating someone else. Well, she seemed like someone that couldn't be alone for a long time. And there's people like that. I'm not going to judge them. Someone say, oh, this is a rebound or this or that. So some people that do not want to be alone very long. And now with the internet, you have so many avenues that you can get immediate access to hooking up with someone or dating someone. Damn, she got him. This is why I don't get married. Never been married myself. After I blocked her, my ex showed up to my job with her new boyfriend on New Year's after basically leaving me for him. That's clarity to just show you who she is as a person. This was about 2 months after the breakup, gave me clarity exactly before I can even say live about and hour away. Yeah, like in situations like that, someone does some shit like that that's cold-hearted, done. I ordered the attached book too, Mac. Your content is gold, and I really like your live chats. Watched all four. Oh, right on, Meal. Meal? Is it Meal or Meal? Found you through the love chat. Your channel will explode in popularity, I can tell. I hope so. I mean, the love chat gave me kind of an unfavorable review, if any of you've seen that out there. He said I'm totally unqualified because I don't have a master's degree. Hurts more holding on rather than just to go because he didn't want to lose his assets. But Mayo, thank you so much for being a part of this, dude. Okay, yeah, I'm 22, but I am too busy with volunteer work, photography, music, school. So this was the first time I let someone in my life. She owes me $700. When people owe you money. I've never had an ex owe me money. I've had some good friends owe me money, and I had to make a decision. Do I want to end the friendship over money, or do I want to just know not to lend them money again? Do you think she will text me back? So what do you want? Do you want your $700 back? You have every right, by the way, of contacting an individual if they owe you $700 still. So someone had asked me this before. Oh, I'm in no contact with. They owe you money. That's going to be a negativity going on, and they might be wanting to sew that up. So you're like, and if you want that $700 back, and you feel like it's owed to you, okay? So I've had other people have situations similar to this, and they got dirty about it. Like they got really angry. And if you make this money a big issue, you're pretty much ending the chance of ever getting back together, because that's what they'll remember. And that's why it's really important at the end of the relationship to be mature, reasonable, because if you're going to revisit things in the future and you can't get $700 back from them, you start getting angry about that, it kind of kills the idea of getting back together, which is fine. Because if someone can't pay you that back, or at least acknowledge, hey, I don't have my thing is like, I know I owe you that money, but right now I'm down. Let me give you $100. Let me give you $200. Okay. Then make the effort. But these other things you're doing, it feels like everyone could be a photographer nowadays. Good for you, man. Get into some video. Music, what kind of music? School, you got shit going on. Voluntary work. Volunteer work is big. I worked at a charity for a couple years, and so I worked at a charity and I did get paid. I didn't get paid a lot, but I was a teacher there. And it was probably one of the greatest times of my life, and it was very, very fulfilling. So anything with volunteer work, when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling really bad about yourself and you're sad, that means you are, I think Tony Robbins talked about this, you're a little bit too much obsessed with yourself and what's good for you. And if you go out and you just do nice things for people, I've talked about this in videos, and it might be out of character for you, trust me, it'll always feel good. You're never going to regret doing volunteer work. And I've said this in like a top 10 video of what to do when you're broken up. Be nice to people. Go out of your way to be kind. It's completely okay to text your ex to just ask for the money back with no mention of the relationship whatsoever. Strictly business. Nerd Fit Bean is strictly business. You're right, hun. Good take. See how well she writes? You write well. I hope your little side business is doing well too. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and one in communications still. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and one in communications. Best experiences learned on the field. Oh, you're talking about my degree. I'm a bachelor's in history, right? I was going to teach history. But you're right. Nothing beats experience. The crazy thing about the internet now, if you want to go out and I watch a lot of lectures on psychology, on break. I watch Stanford has a channel. And the audiobooks, man, countless audiobooks. If someone wants to educate themselves on anything they want to learn, they can. I have a good buddy of mine bought a fucking BMW 540i, if anyone knows what that car is. It was a really cool car, I think in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. And he picked it up with low miles on it and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, John, but it's going to be really expensive to maintenance. He goes, I just went on YouTube. I know how to maintenance it. I do the oil change and everything myself. And I think in California, maintenance on those cars is like $500-600. So done. Learned how to do it. Was needy in my Thomas White, TW. Was needy in my past relationship. Eventually told her that I was aware that it's toxic, and I backed off to give her space to live her life. 5 days later, she decided to break up. Well, that's clarity. Ding, 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 ding. I would let her keep the money to stay out of my life. If she doesn't, and I have proof to take her to court. Mike's, like you have like a Nerd Fit Bean said, like, you have every right to ask for that money back. And it's funny, like one guy that I did a live coaching with, they had deposit from an apartment and some other things. He goes, I just don't know what to do. I'm like, contact her right now and just be direct about that. I mean, hey, they had an account together. I'm like, split up the funds and just be direct and be fair. Come back to being fair. You know what I mean? Just be fair. That's what when people deal with money, they want fair, right? When someone starts going, yeah, you owe me interest. It's like, what? Honestly, it hurts more holding on than that does to let it go. Yeah, like I said, one of my really good friends, we were roommates in college. He owed me money from back rent. He probably still owes me like $1,200. And I had to make a decision because this guy, I know he doesn't have a lot of extra money. He's getting by. He hustles. He does his thing. He was a taxi driver for a while. And I know he doesn't have the extra money, but when we hang out, I let it go. And if he wants to pay me in the future, he's like, I will pay you in the future and stuff. I know he doesn't have the extra money right now. I know he's grinding and doing the best he can to get by. And I made a decision to let that go because I'd rather be friends with him. I know his character. He's a good guy. He's one of my, I don't like to say best friends, but one of my favorite people, man. So you make that on an individual basis. I had another person years back that borrowed money because they had cancer and they were going into chemotherapy. This was a lot more money, and I never got paid back. The guy passed away. His wife never really paid me. They owned a restaurant, so they'd always give me food for free. And you know what? I was at peace. I was like, I did the right thing. I had good intentions of helping someone when they had cancer. It's almost $2,000, I think, over $2,000. He never made a mention of like, he just kept giving me like free food and stuff like that, of paying me back. And I have no regrets because I did the right thing in that time. Did I want to get paid back? Yeah. I don't just have $2,000 to just throw around, but I'll never regret that because my intentions were good. Yeah, online business going well. Wow, coach, I have a good memory. If I interact with you and I talk to you one time, I have a very good memory. I can only imagine the numbers of clients you have. Yeah, I mean, part of it is I've been a teacher for years and you got 35 to 40 students, so interacting with people. But if I talk to you one-on-one, we didn't talk one-on-one. We did the private email response, but I listen or I read the story intently. It's like, how many people do that, right? How many people do that? Actually listen intently. There's ways to do that. Hey, Mac, also thanks for your videos. Looking back to last year to now, I've definitely grown emotionally strong. No highs and lows, not flighty. Your mindset is a great influence to change respect. Well, thank you. That's kind words, AET. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's been a work in progress because when you do what I do, and basically when I started this, I told people I'm going to just take everyone's story and do the best I can. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I highly suspect it. What I'm saying about that is all the people I did stories for, I just kind of was like, all right, I'm just going to give you my take. And now it's grown and grown and grown. And I've gotten better at what I do. And I've continued my research and my book studies and that. But making these contacts and meeting these people is really, really cool. Like Nerdy Fit Bean. I'll remember, like, you had the arbitrage thing. You did copyright work. You're into fitness. I think you're a personal trainer. It's like, I don't know if you want me to say all this because you're on a thing, but like, I do have a good memory once we talk. And AET is from living in San Diego, been in the Bay Area, Mountain View, has a dog that she loves. I never pressured her about the money because I knew she had problems with it. That is why I don't know why she is harsh and disrespectful. I blocked her on all social media. I do photo for cancer. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what that means. I do photo for cancer. I'm thinking that mom actually does. She collects prom dresses from people's old prom dresses, so they donate them, and then they go to these high schools and people that can't afford like a really nice prom. I think they get like 100 or 200. It's a pretty cool idea, huh? Like volunteer work doesn't have to be something gritty and grimy. Pick something that you like. Pick something that you like. They put my mom on the news for it too. Wow. BMW, Mercedes are expensive. Yeah. I knew you'd know about this, Mike. You're a mechanic. Yeah, I think you are. Engineer of some sort. You're a step above just being a mechanic. You're a diesel mechanic or something. If you don't respond to your letter of service from the sheriff, be ready for court for that. I don't know for sure, but I highly suspect it. Okay, I don't know what that's from. Had a 8-year LTR long-term relationship in my early 20s, and when it ended, we sold the house, and I decided to split 50-50 to avoid further conflict. 6 years later, it's still great. No money is worth your peace of mind. Yeah, when you're in those situations, you just go for a 50-50 split, and even if because if someone gets more and they're just going to carry that. You're right, Mail, I'm sorry. Miguel, I would like to thank you a lot. I'm a big everyone has a good side and tried to see the best in her. I was totally blind to all the manipulation she did and insults. You helped a lot. Wow, thank you. I don't remember you in a live coaching. I must have read your story, man. She sounded like a narcissist. This word narcissist gets thrown around a lot now. And diesel automotive engineer. That sounds better. I didn't want to get that wrong because people with their titles, dude, it's like, I'm not just a mechanic, I'm a diesel automotive engineer, and it isn't the fucking same. So hats off to you, Mike. I actually talked to you when you were at your workplace, and it's official. You're an official job, dude. I would like to thank you a lot. Big believer that everyone has a good side and try to see the best in her. Yeah, I mean, people don't even know they're manipulative or insulting, and people do the best they can with what they have. I've said before, a lot of people are a slave to their experience in life. I've dealt with someone before that they're in a 9-year marriage and they had a really good marriage for 6 or 7. And then once they had kids, some things surfaced with his wife based on her childhood. And they were sparked by the kids. And I won't go into details because he might not want this shared because we did quite a few live coachings, but the past that you carry is a filter for everything new that comes up in your life. And your brain constantly goes, oh, I remember this happened before, so this is going to happen again. And it's really a bad way to look at things. I was just watching a really good documentary on shamanism. Random, right? I love stuff like that. And the guy said that the shamans, what they try to do is to get you to lose part of your memory because your memory is filtering in everything that comes about. And that's why when you're in a breakup, it's so important to get really clear on what happened and that it's an individual case, because what you'll do is you'll go, oh, this is going to happen again and again and again. Oh, here you go. AET needs a car worked on. Mike's a mechanic. If he's a diesel automotive engineer, I'm sure he can work on any car. I mean, that's his specialty. That's where he gets paid, but I'm sure he can work on other cars. We've got to find a way to some of these people that are regularly in these chats to have a group so you guys can interact better. It's Josh who I have my ex's son tonight. We're supposed to meet her tomorrow for church, the lunch, her plans. She asked that I bring my camera gear. Kind of pissed me off. I think I'll be done after tomorrow. We're supposed to meet her tomorrow for church, then lunch, her plans. Well, don't do anything you don't want to do. If you have your ex's son and that's your pleasure, as far as like you're happy to do it, you're happy to be a part of his life, because it doesn't sound like it's your son, it's her son. And if you don't want to bring the camera and take pictures, don't bring the camera and take pictures. Don't complain about it. Oh, I can't believe she asked me for that. And then you go and do it. Just go, yeah, I'm not comfortable taking pictures tomorrow. I'm okay. We'll go to church and have lunch, whatever. She had issues. Yeah, now that she is gone, I see clearly, but I don't hate her. I do not gain anything from hating her. For some reason, she told everyone I did some bad stuff and destroyed my reputation. Someone that disturbs your reputation is bigger than someone that goes out of like that. That's vindictive, and it's totally uncalled for, man. That's to say goodbye. Excuse me. You know, sometimes when you talk for a long time, there's another guy I used to follow on YouTube that's really cool, and he used to always, like, it's almost like an air burp. Like, it's not a burp that like a nasty one, but when you talk for so long, it's like air comes up. All right, we're gonna close this out. I got an hour 36. I don't got any comments here. We're gonna close this out. I got 19 on deck here. This is a interesting little discussion today. It started out a little slow because I read some stories, and we're up to 19 people right now. Does anyone? Anyways, I'm going to sleep. I hope you all have a great night. Maybe soon I will have enough money to set a live session with you. No problem, Miguel. I'm ready, buddy. Keep doing your thing. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it a lot, bud. I appreciate it. Yeah, it gets late quick, right? Anything else? The next one I'm going to talk about that I think is kind of fun. If anyone's got that, Coach, when you spoke on the whole repeat situation where you spoke on shamans, isn't that kind of like trauma, so people run from it? Well, elaborate, Mike. I'm sorry. I mean, memories are traumatic memories shape how you view everything, right? It's like I had a friend that was telling me that 12:45 a.m. we're looking forward to the next live chat. It's late, huh? It's 11:42 a.m. where I'm at. Tell me what ideal time is for you guys out there. 8 p.m. Everyone's in different time zones, though, huh? Yeah, you're in the East Coast, Mayo, if you're over there. Even I think you said Canada, but you're still in the East Coast. Yeah, I was going to talk about this. Does anyone have? I still got 19 on board here. Really quick, throw this out. What do you guys identify with one of the top breakup songs that you played a lot when you were in a breakup? I think this is kind of funny because I heard one that was big when I was in a breakup. Does anyone have that? Like when people go through the trauma, a fight, or an experience, someone's getting Montreal. Okay, there's someone. You're not the dude that plays heavy metal music, are you? Is that the one that is a guitarist? Sorry. Like when people go through the trauma, a fight, or an experience, someone getting thrown in jail over BS, and then the new person shows the similarities of the last. This is why I left my girl who I was with. I'm Educated by Nathan Fouts. I don't know that song. I'll have to check that out. Okay, cool. Mike, yeah, I think what you're saying is true. Like, no, all 90s rap, just like you. I like 90s rap, dude. Sorry, Mike, what you were saying is true. So the new person shows the similarities of the last one. Yeah, like if you, it's kind of like you smell smoke, you think there's a fire coming, right? Because that's a natural instinct. But when you have a bad situation, I see this all the time too. Someone will be like, I don't know why people get in these situations. They're like, they become Nostradamus or psychics because they think the same thing's going to happen again. So being able to, yeah, like this shaman thing was talking about, the biggest thing is our memory filters, which I know, but the way he said it filters all, especially I'm 38. I think you're in your 30s, Mike. I don't know how old, but like you have way more memories and you have way more stuff. It's like when you're in your teens, you're like, oh, that's the first time that ever happened. Now you have something to go on. Now you have something to go on. Your first relationship, your first breakup, your second breakup, they're big. If you don't get that clarity and you don't get that sewed up on why and what happened, you're going to carry that in your next relationship and go, oh, all women are this way. A Tribe Called Quest? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I like Tribe Called Quest. I used to have that CD that was like white on the CD. CDs are even ancient, huh? All right, let's go through these songs. This is kind of cool. I'm Educated by Nathan Fouts. I'll check that out, actually. I don't know that song. No, all 90s rap just like you. Yeah. Like I said, you can't play with my yo-yo. Remember that song? Remember Supersonic or Salt and Pepper's Push It? I mean, those are so old. Those might even be 80s, huh? Young MC, Bust a Move. Lisa Shaw, Finally, breakup song. See, I don't even know these. Let me check these out. Let me see it. I mean, let's think about this for a breakup song, right? Shit, this is my tax stuff. For a breakup song, it kind of goes to you individually in your situation. 37 be this month. All right, Mike, we're about the same page. Seasoned. That's an E40 song. Age 22. That's really cool. Deadly Conversations, Warning from My Demons, and True Colors by Slaves. Sounds fucking dark, dude. Or any song by Kill Whitney Dead. Jeez, Josh, who? Isn't that a form of insanity, going through the process over and over, expecting a different result, but if it ends up being the same? I guess you could say that, but I mean, I think that people are wired for familiarity. So that's what makes us comfortable. That's why, like, the dog will always go to the same spot to eat. And then you take the bowl away from there and they're like, what the hell happened? It's the same thing for humans. It's like, oh, I get this pleasure from this, so I always do the same thing. Like most people don't like to try new things. They get dialed in and grooved in. And the thing is about what you're talking about, going through the same process over and over. They don't even know they're doing it subconsciously. LOL. I remember back in the day when someone first sent me LOL when AOL was out, when I talked about that video before. Mike knows that video. And I'm like, what's LOL? What's LOL? I avoid sappy love songs after breakups. Only listen to EDM to get me pumped up and embrace all the positive energy. Okay. Someone was just talking about that recently, that love songs when you break up could bring you down more. That's an Albert Einstein quote. AOL is what I was talking about. AET. What I was talking about is that when you first had the internet and you first used like AOL dial-up, that back in the day, and I first started doing instant messaging and someone wrote me LOL, I was like, what's LOL? Why do you keep saying LOL? What? Dial-up. Oh, no. Yeah. AT. Nah. AOL people would message you ASL. Age, sex, and location. I didn't know that one, dude. See? Sometimes people know this stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know that, man. No, I didn't know that. Okay. ASL. Age, sex, and location. That's to the point, right? It's funny, right? And I was talking to this guy. If you saw the video, I don't know what the video was called, but Mike saw the video. But I mean, I remember the person was like, LOL, because I was like making jokes and shit. And she's like, I'm like, LOL, why do you keep saying LOL? Rolling on the floor, laughing my ass off. It's funny, huh? Yeah. Any other songs people have out here? Okay, I'll share my songs. This is going to be funny. Word, LOL. Yeah, this is going to be funny. I had a song. So I was in my breakup. This was like 10 years ago. Obviously, I've talked about it numerous times, different ways. Don't pick up the phone. You'll disconnect from me from AOL. Yeah, exactly. It's like, doesn't that seem so fucking ancient? That's like 20 years ago, guys. But so I'll share my song that used to come up a lot, and I don't even like this song, but I identified with it when I broke up. Was I don't know the exact name of the song, but you remember Fergie's song? And I don't even like the Black Eyed Peas that much. I think they have good beats and everything like that. But anyways, Fergie, who's beautiful, the song You're a big girl now, or no? I'm drawing a blank right now. What's that song? That song was played out it was one of those songs that was all over the radio, which people don't even listen to the radio now. But it was one of those songs that was just everywhere 10 years ago when I broke up. And I kept going, oh yeah, that's what happened between us. She's like, I could feel that song talking to me. And the video is so dramatic too. But that song would always come on. What was that song called? Fergie, I'm a big girl now? No. Sad songs help me my sad emotion, but it's a form of healing for me. Yeah, I mean, I actually, to me, like one of the greatest breakup songs that's inspirational. I was just laughing about that because I heard Many Rivers to Cross with Jimmy Cliff recently, and I was like, oh fuck, this is a fucking great song. It's a classic, dude. I mean, you don't even have to listen to it just for breakups, but Landslide by Dixie Chicks, There's My Softer Side. Yeah, Fergie's like, it was one of those things, that Fergie song, I wasn't playing it. It wasn't like I had this CD. It was just coming on the radio. Like when the mouse wheel was running about my breakup, that song would come on. But it was really just by chance because that song was getting played out anyways. Like I said, this was when people actually listen to radio. I don't think they do that anymore. And now this is bothering me. So I'm going to look at the exact name of the song. But the song would just come up and I'd be like, oh shit, is this a sign? Nerdy Fit being rolling on the floor laughing. Free Bird, Leonard Skinner, great song. Great song. Great song. Yeah, the let me see this. LMA. Oh, I didn't know what that was at first too. I was like, what's this mean? What is it? Fergie song. This is bugging me now. What's the song? Ever listen to Tom Waits? No, I don't know who that is. Okay, this is the song. I can't play it because Big Girls Don't Cry. Big Girls Don't Cry, yeah. Big Girls Don't Cry from Fergie. I'm talking about Butt Gone. If you're, it's just a funny name, Butt Gone. But Big Girls Don't Cry was the song that used to come up a lot when I broke up. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is so true about what happened with us, about moving on. Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You, Tom Waits. Listen to it. Classic. Okay. Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You, Tom Waits. Classic. Okay, so we got a few songs here. But anyways, yeah. I don't listen to Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie now at all. Or maybe I'll just type it. Yep, that's right. I bet you there's some kind of delay when you guys send a message, like it doesn't come through right away. But yeah, that's the song. So when that song was like really popular, that's right when I was in my breakup. So it was 2006. 2006 doesn't seem like that long ago. Fuck. Well, that song was like on every radio station. It was like, and that would come on and be like, oh yeah. And the words would like hit me and I'd be like, yeah, it's time for you to move on. It's kind of funny now. Like looking back when you think about how dramatic it all was. I'm in the car listening to fucking Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie. It's like, yeah, this is the song that I can relate to in my breakup. Right? I hope you know this has nothing to do with you. It's personal, myself and I. If you look at the words to the song, like the words to the song apply to a lot of people. Just call me BG, coach. It's cool. All right, BG. But the words to the song Big girls don't cry. I need some shelter from my own protection to be myself and to center clarity, peace, and serenity. And that was the song when I'm like, you know, I hope you know, this has nothing to do with it. It's personal, myself and I. We've got some straightening out to do. And this used to like, the lyrics went with how my breakup went down, because I was like, it had nothing to do with crying, because I'm not a big crier anyways. That's not because I'm tough. That's just the way I was brought up. And the part about her crying and her wanting to move on, and she's not going to, I'm going to miss you like a child misses a blanket, was part of the lyrics. And to me, that was kind of like how it is. It's like, it's about security and stuff. So the lyrics were pretty cool. So anyways, that was my one big song. And I also really liked the song for another breakup later on that was more recent, was Coldplay, Fix You. You know the song Fix You by Coldplay? That's a great song. I thought that was really good. A little bit dramatic, but anyone else out there got some songs? Any closing thoughts? I'm coming up on 2 hours. I lost some people from the chat here, but I think it's been fun. Got some people that haven't been around for a while. Isn't it funny that they immediately hide you if you use the F word? But clarity, peace, serenity are pillars from Al-Anon. Love can be an addiction. My mom heads Al-Anon meetings, my friend. Hypnotize, Coldplay, Gravity, Coldplay. Okay. I like Coldplay. They're cool. I have a barber here in Thailand. She's like, you look like the guy from Coldplay. And I'm like, I've never had anyone tell me that, you know? And I look up the guy, because I never really looked at him very closely when you listen to music, you know? And then I realized he's got that gap in his teeth that I have. And I was like, oh shit, that's what she's talking about. 4 years of braces. Actually, you look like Chris Martin. I don't know who Chris Martin is. Chris Martin. Now that I think about it. Yeah, no, I don't know who Chris Martin is. Hey, Mac, I thought you were half Asian this whole time. Many people think I am, dude. Many people think I do a lot. I don't know. Even when I lived in San Francisco, shit, I remember the girls would always be like, are you half? I'm like, what? Half what? Chinese. I'm like, no. Not a problem, though. I've had Asian girlfriends. Nah, I think I said this in the live stream before. My mom's Spanish and French, or her grandparents were. Her father was born in France. My mother's from Spain, and then my father's Irish and I think Scottish. Chris Martin is a Coldplay lead singer you were talking about. Okay, so that's the one you're saying. Okay, the barber said that. That's who she said, because, and I just looked up and I'm like, oh, because of the gap in the teeth, maybe the receding fucking hairline. Invincible or Little Things by the Icarus account. Okay, I don't know that song. Rewrite the Stars. I know it's rather new, but it is what it is, coach. Chris Martin is the Coldplay lead singer we're talking about. Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, that's fine. Isn't it funny how people identify people with other people? I don't know if you know what I mean by that. Yeah, I'm a music lover here, and this is very interesting. I'm not by nature. I didn't grow up with a lot of different music. I mean, I like different music. I actually like. I love like Al Green, Bill Withers. I would say probably my favorite all-time song. This sounds. Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Songs that I will listen to and like want to sing the song. I love that song, Lean on Me. That should be the national anthem for humans. That's a great song. I'm a music lover here, and it's very interesting. Yeah, I thought it'd be an interesting topic to talk about. You know, this was significant at the time. The lyrics touched me. Coach Mac looks like Jude Law. I've heard that before. I'll take that as a compliment because Jude Law is cool. I appreciate that. What about Elvis? Me look like Elvis? I don't think so. I used to have some sideburns though. But Elvis is a good looking dude. You're talking about Elvis? What about Elvis songs? You're not talking about I Look Like Elvis. Your Lover. Okay, I know that song. Be sure. What do all you guys look like? Oh God, that'd be difficult for. Oh, what if? Well, maybe like what you've been compared, because probably everyone's been compared to look like someone, huh? I mean, I've had a couple people Nerdy Fit Beans say that about Jude Law, but I don't. Someone else would be like, "Oh, no way." Um, but Olivia Munn here is who you look like. Is that what you're saying, AET? Olivia Munn. I don't know who that is. Okay, let me look it up really quick. Isn't the internet great? It's like, oh, let me just look that up. Okay. Oh, Olivia Munn is the is this the one that was in Suits? Wow, she's beautiful. Yeah, she's the one that's in the show Suits, right? Or am I wrong? No, she's not from Suits. She is from Suits? Been told I look like a mix of the bassist of Fall Out Boy, Billy from The Good Charlotte, and Travis Barker. Okay, the only guy I know is Travis Barker. But AET, if you look like Olivia Munn, good for you, hun. She's beautiful. Wow. If you got that compliment, that's really nice. Years back, I had someone stop me and tell me I look like she was in X-Men Apocalypse. Okay, I looked her up right now. She's pretty. She's 38 years old. Same age as me. From Oklahoma. Oh, God. She writes, I have a dark sense of humor. Oh, wow. It's because I'm scrawny and covered in tattoos. Okay. It's Meghan Markle. But gone for BG, it's Meghan Markle for you. Travis Barker was cool. That's a name from the past. He used to have a reality show, and he used to go out with like a Playboy bunny or something like that. Travis Barker was cool though. I mean, that's a Blink 182 has a love song. What's that song? Every once in a while I play that song. I mean, I wasn't a huge Blink 182 fan, but they had some cool shit. I didn't know they were from San Diego, Poway. Now I'm looking stuff up. I Miss You. Yeah, Blink 182. Yeah. That's a cool song, actually. That's a cool song. I play that sometimes. Yeah, that's probably their top song. It's a fucking talk about a dark video with the fucking shaved cat. I look like Tom Hardy, some say, but I don't see it. Well, if you look like fucking Tom Hardy, then you shouldn't have a problem being single, dude. Huh? It's like someone was saying before that people that believe in past lives, which is like, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. Could be. But they, like, if they go and see someone about their past lives, or they go see a monk, or they go see someone, they always are like a hero. It's never like, oh, I was a beggar. I was, it's always like, yeah, I was in many wars before, and I was a hero. That's what they told me. It's like, it's never like, oh, I worked at McDonald's when they first opened. No one has that in their past life, Tom Hardy is handsome. Yeah, Tom Hardy's, fuck, man. Like that's a major dude. If you're getting paid compared to Tom Hardy, dude, you should be just fine. David Subsonic. So you just entered the convo. What's your say on being repilled about women? I don't know what repilled is. Can you tell me what that is? I don't want to touch on something I don't know what it is. Repilled about women. No, coach. The girl from Suits. Meghan Markle. She's beautiful. She married. I don't know how this got into this topic, but we'll just roll with it. Isn't she married to like one of the princes from England? See, I don't follow a lot of gossip and stuff in the news, But Suits is a great show, by the way. I love that show. Harvey's his name, I think. But she's pretty. She's hot. Meghan Markle, yeah. Red pilled. What does red pilled mean? What's red pilled? I know there's this red pill, blue pill thing. I know I'm familiar with Rollo Tomassi because I like the Rational Male, but I don't know your meaning of it. So I don't want to touch on it. So explain it. I'm leaning into red pill, sure. Prince there. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's who I thought it was. Maybe, yeah. It's funny. We go from music to like, you get into these gossip things and stuff. Yeah. Explain the red pill thing a little bit to me and like what it means to you and what you're asking to give me some clarity on that. One of the things I will do is if I don't know about something, I'm going to ask you about it. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I kind of know what red pill is. Like, what are this and that? It's like, what's your definition of it? Red pill means right-wing politics about the truth of the female. Yeah, I don't think it means red pill means right-wing politics. Yeah, about the truth of female nature. So let me just go up here. What's your say on being red pilled about women? About the truth of the female nature. I don't know, that seems like a very broad question. I'm having trouble grasping it. Can you be more specific, possibly? I don't know how to answer that. The truth of female nature. Maybe I have to revisit my what is the red pill, blue pill philosophy? I've heard it mentioned, but didn't look into it. Isn't it the Matrix shit? It can be, but I think he's talking about the manosphere, possibly MGTOW, which is different stuff. That's why it's got different clarifications there. Look up for the Red Man Group. Rollo is a part of it. Okay, like Rollo Tomassi and the Rational Male. I've read that book. Good book for men. I'm not exactly clear on what like that question. I don't know how to grasp that and answer that. It seems very broad of a question to get into. That women can't love men like men love women. They only love us for what we can do and provide. Okay, well, that's more detailed. That's more detailed. Any women out there want to comment on this? That women can't love men like men love women. They only love us for what we can do and provide. Okay, so I wouldn't say that statement's completely false. What I would say is it's a broad general statement, and that, you know, there's nuances to every relationship. Look up hybrid. I know, I'm familiar with it. Yeah. It's funny. I just restarted Preventive Medicine by Rollo Tomassi on an audiobook, and that's the first chapter, hypergamy. I don't know if we're going to get into that right now because I'm at 2 hours, and that's a big thing to unpack. But I know about it, and I have some reading I've done on it, and I have some background on it. And, you know, yeah, it is different for women. It is different for men as far as love. My thing is to get a little deeper on all this. And sometimes people believe in a certain thing, and then if you don't believe in it, it's like, oh, you're against it. No, I'm not. I believe that anytime you generalize something and you put it into a box, like this is this with human beings, it can be true to a culture. That's the whole other thing about relationships. They're culturally different. So I live in Thailand most of the year. I've been abroad. I've lived in California. I would even say living in San Diego and living in San Francisco are different subcultures. The way that people act and talk and understood love to me anyway. But to say that all women or all men are kind of this way could be a generalization. But that being said, yes, they do generally love in a different way. And And I am a fan of Rollo Tomassi. And what I would like to do is, if I got in a deeper discussion about this, I would like to reread Preventive Medicine and Rational Male and get really deep and have my notes with me. That would be fun. A man that is discerning is very attractive also. What is discerning? What does it mean to be discerning? I always like to ask people, it's not like you're trying to be a smart ass, but like, what does that word mean to you? Because every word means something different. You know, sometimes I'll ask that, and someone will give me like a, when I'm unpacking your story, I'm like, well, what's that word mean to you? Sometimes it's yeah, that's about right. That's what I would, showing good judgment, has values, and values vary with different people, right? That's maturity, right? Do you ever have words though? Like, I've been a teacher for years and stuff. I still look up words. I'm like, what does that word mean again? I mean, now you can look it up so quickly, right? Because I'm like, I know the word, but how it's used. Has discipline. Do you have discipline? Are you discerning? Sometimes we're attracted to the things that we lack a little bit. Me too. I look up all words all the time. I do. And if I don't know it, because I've been a teacher for years, and one of the things that being a teacher, the worst thing you can do is not ask good questions. The student that asks the good questions, it's like, hey, I'm always going to remember who you are. And the thing is like, admit when you don't know something, when you don't understand. It's like, it's so nice when someone's like, can you explain that to me? I don't really know what you mean. It's like when David asked that question, it's like, that's a topic I can get in a conversation about, but I'd like to do a little more background on it. I'd like to refresh hypergamy, which I know about, and I've read the book. I'm a little bit rusty on it, but if I was going to have a full-on conversation about it, I'm like, let me look over my notes from that and resurface for what it means, rather than just have a ignorant conversation to make a point, right? So how about a video of covert contracts? Remember to hit that like button, people. Thanks, bud. I got 8 now. I'm 2 hours deep here. I actually got to talk to a friend at 3 who she moved to South Africa. I'd love to do a show with her. Maybe I'm gonna have to figure out this live stream where I can bring one other person into it. Remember to hit that like, people. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you watched my videos before, I had friends that are like, oh, your intros are way too long and you didn't get people to ask for likes or subscribes. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. If you want to like the video, like it. Yes, covert contracts, please. Covert contracts. What's covert contracts? See, you just admitted what you don't know, right? Well, that's the thing. When you ask the individual, covert and contract can mean something different to me. I don't know if I'm going to get into covert contracts right away, but I think you're talking about that too, because that's from that book, The Nice Guys Finish Last. I'm just reading it right now about the covert. Covert contracts are where you do things from someone and expect it in return. Yep. I think a lot of us do that where you get upset when you do that. I mean, I've had girlfriends before that do the cooking and cleaning and laundry, and then all of a sudden they get upset about it. And you're like, you've been doing it for a year. And you'd be like, well, why don't you do some of it? It's like, well, I didn't know that you wanted me to do the dishes when you made dinner. That would be like a covert contract. I remember I had one girl, she's like, all right, now you can do all the dishes. I'm like, I didn't really want to do dishes. I would have went out to eat. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah, Robert Clever. I'm going to have to revisit that book also. That's one thing from Corey Wayne that I agree with. You read your book 10 times, you read it multiple times, you get something more and new out of it. Really good book for some of you guys, if you're hurting out there, to read 2 or 3 times, I think, is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And that book is something you can read a couple times. It's short, it's story-based. But the logotherapy that he follows is something I follow when I help people out. So having expectations. I think, yeah, having covert contract means like, well, if I do this for you, you should be doing this for me. I did all this. People do it when they break up. They make this whole case about what they did for someone and they didn't get back. More than just expectations, it gets deeper than that. Yeah, it does. It does. I'll let you guys do your research on that. And maybe that'll be a topic for the future to spark. I mean, what's really great about this live thing is we can go all over the place here. Someone had typed that last book in the chat, Mac. Okay, bud. It's a classic. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It's Tony Robbins' favorite book, I think he said before, but he also you can look it up yourself. I won't go into detail right now because I got 11 members left here, and we're kind of at the end of this conversation. Any closing questions or comments, people? Great chat tonight, Mac. Good night, everyone. You too, AET. And that's a hell of a compliment that you get about that. What's her name? The girl that you look like? Good for you. Good for you. Thank you. Thank you too. Anyone else out there closing it out? This was a good chat. Thanks for the people that stayed all the way through. It's really cool. It was a delight. It was delightful. Anything else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Peace. I'll head out too. Okay, good. Love like you've never been hurt. By okay, you gave me one last time. Keep up the good work. Thank you, bud. Thank you kindly. Lone Saku Lurentio. It's a hard one to say. I'm sorry. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the likes today. I didn't even ask for them. People support me out there. I appreciate it. I'm going to continue to do this more regularly. I think it's really good. It's fun for me. So, and we got into some different things. You guys are laughing about the LOL, the lol. Right? Anyone else? One more closing statement? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Light.